right, everybody, we are back. I'm Nick,
I'm Brandon.
and playoff picks,
Let's
college
go.
football. Obviously, Ohio State, Alabama, they're set for the championship, and then we have our NFL playoffs as well. So, what we're going to do today, we'll go over our NFL picks for the playoffs. Then we will go over who we think is going to be the Super Bowl champ. Not going to the matchup. We can if you want, but Super Bowl champs who we think it'd be. Say it now before it even starts. And then who our national champion pick is. Okay. So,
Gotcha.
Brandon, I'll let you start off first. Colts at the
Bills.
Bills.
All right, I have the Bills, but I do think the game's gonna be closer than people think. Everyone's saying, "Oh, Bills, Super Bowl, Bills, 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 Bills." Yes, the Bills are hot right now. Usually, the hot team takes it into the playoffs. Colts are a better team than people think. Colts are a really good team. Very, very, very good team. Jonathan Taylor, third in the league in rushing. Third. Over guys like Nick Chubb, over guys like Alvin Kamara. Third, here's the thing. They didn't even utilize Jonathan Taylor till week 5. I
Very
mean, this
similar to Justin Jefferson, utilized late.
I I don't the whole Taylor thing, I've been saying this because I'm a fantasy owner in the Dynasty League. I've been saying this all along. Why is he not getting the rock? Because he's averaging 5 yards a carry. He can receive. He's good. He had 240 yards last in the final game of the regular season. That being said, I do think the Bills take this into the playoffs, and I think their momentum, I do think they win, but I think Vegas, the line 6.5, I would take the Bills plus 6.5, and that's my pick. But I'm sorry.
You take
I would take Colts plus 6.5. I'm taking the Bills to win the game.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Colts at the Bills. I believe I heard, and I had Sports Center on in the background while I was doing some things, that they are going to try to let some fans in
They are.
for the game. Now, I think it's only 5,000
It
compared
was
to
6,000 last week, I think.
so compared to what it normally is. But if there is a fan base that can still bring the juice with 5,000,
Exactly.
it's the
Yep.
Bills. And I guarantee, unless there's some rich Colts fan, it's going to be all 100% Bills fans there.
Oh, hopefully it's 2 feet of snow, so it'll be even better.
Even better. Exactly. And
No.
I don't know what the restrictions will be, and hopefully everybody abides by the COVID rules, but I guarantee there's going to be tons of tailgaters.
Tailgating. Oh, yeah, let them tailgate.
So I'm going to say the Bills, and here's why. Diggs, 127 receptions.
I know.
First in the NFL.
Yeah.
1,535 yards receiving. First
Yeah.
in the NFL. Now, he only has 8 touchdowns, and a lot of them came at the end of the season, actually. A lot of them came at the end of the season.
Hey.
But guess what? Who threw them to him? Josh Allen. He made
37.
Easily look like prime Wes Welker out there this year. Here's the thing. Can they get it done? The Buffalo Bills have a middle-of-the-pack run defense. It's not amazing. It's not bad. So can the Colts expose that a little bit with Jonathan Taylor? I thought Colts were going to roll the Steelers, which would help them come in. Steelers have that comeback win. Are the Colts just kind of getting in? Hey, how's it going? They're at the dance. Oh, my mom's here to pick me up. One of those type of things. So I'm going to take the Bills here, and I would take the Bills money line, and I would take that 6.5 because I think at least a touchdown. I just say maybe they win by 7.
Interesting. Here's the thing. And the touchdown numbers, 8 touchdowns is still pretty good. Remember, there's been times where Julio Jones he's gotten 1,700 yards and gotten 5 touchdowns. It's not all about that. Remember, Diggs isn't the biggest guy. Julio Jones shockingly is, but he gets triple teamed in the end zone. Diggs is getting double teamed in the end zone. He's scoring on long touchdowns.
Yeah, if you're not a running back, a lot of times those pass plays around the red zone do go to the guy you least expect it. It could be the backside tight end. It could be the fullback or
fullback. Yeah.
it could be a pick play for somebody else to get a pass.
Or you know what the Bills do a lot? They might fake the run. So they might have that option special where Allen's in shotgun. He has Singletary or Moss to the right or left to him. They fake the handoff. Either Allen has the option to pull it back, throw it, give it to Singletary or Moss, or he runs it a lot. Remember, Allen is a very mobile quarterback. He scored, I want to say he had like 8 touchdowns this year rushing. So that's the issue with the Bills. Not the issue. They spread it out. That's why Diggs' numbers are so low.
All right. Next up, Rams at Seahawks. Brandon, who you got?
Seahawks, the Rams, they're limping in.
All right. Well,
had a piece of ice. Dude, the Rams lost to the Jets. I don't care if Goff's back. I don't like this Rams team. There's something about them. I even traded Cooper Kupp off my dynasty team. I just don't like the Rams moving forward. I don't think Jared Goff is anything but an average quarterback in the league. And yes, Aaron Donald's great. Yes, they have decent cornerbacks. I don't think Ramsey's the best. I don't think he is. He's an asshole. I'll just say that. But I don't like the Rams as a team. I don't like the Seahawks as a team. I don't like West Coast teams. I don't like college Pac-12 teams. I'm not a West Coast guy. I will reiterate that the West Coast stinks. With that being said, I have the Seahawks in a close game.
All right. Well, I am also going to go Seahawks. Now, here's the thing, though. Jared Goff this season, he did play one more game on the road than he did at home. He has way better passing stats on the road this year. Now, he's coming off a hand injury. Obviously, as you can imagine, isn't the best thing for a quarterback there. But 6 touchdowns compared to 14 on the road. So going to Seattle, but the Seahawks defense has gotten better and better. They went from one of the worst in the league to now you got to respect them, And we always think, even when they're bad, it's like, well, Seahawks defense, right? That's the normal thing. Bears never have a quarterback, and Seahawks have some defense, all right? So, again, I'm going to say Seahawks also because guess what? When the going gets tough, let Russ cook, okay? Now, listen, maybe they let him cook a little too much in the past. Obviously, that Patriots Super Bowl where they let him throw it instead of hand off the beast mode there. But I'm going to ride Russ out in these type of games. He can get it done. He's won big matchups in the first round before. He gets it done here too. All right, the night game on Saturday, Bucs at Washington. What you got, Brandon?
I don't want you to be biased here either.
All right.
And I'm going to go the Bucs. Vegas also agrees with me. That's the second biggest point spread other than the Saints-Bears game. It's 8. Yeah. I think the Saints-Bears might be 11. Double digits. 10, 11.
Yeah.
I'm going Bucs. I do think Brady is going to have a good game. Listen, we talked about this a little in our group chat today. What does Tom Brady do? He gets the ball out fast. Well, what's the strength of the Washington football team? Well, they get after the quarterback, right? Well, I think Tom Brady, he's proven that if you don't get to Tom Brady, he can beat blitz defenses. You have to disrupt him. What do you think the Giants did in the Super Bowl? They disrupted him by mixing up the coverages and confusing coverages in the back end, in the secondary. And then they would do, different types of blitzes to get after Brady.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. I'm not saying Washington is incapable. They have the personnel. It's all on coaching at this point. I just don't trust the coaching staff to be able to disrupt Brady enough. And I think the Bucs win. I don't want to say it's going to be I like Washington, believe it or not. And it's crazy. NFC East, I feel like Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants, they don't hate Washington. But I hate Dallas and I hate Philly. I don't have that same feeling with Washington.
Team that always stinks, right?
Well, I mean, not always stinks. You have 3 Super Bowl wins. I mean,
not in my lifetime.
No.
Or yours.
No. but it's not like they're horrendous. Yeah, they're not the greatest, but this year I like the team. I like Chase Young. I really do like Chase Young. I like their defensive line. Montez Sweat, I wanted him on the Giants, and he fell, I think, all the way to like 20-something.
Yeah, they actually traded their second-round pick to get him.
Yeah, and that, hey, smart. But I don't think it's going to be enough because I just think the Washington offense is going to be a little too anemic to beat the Buccaneers.
Yeah. Actually, talking about that draft there too, if Dwayne Haskins doesn't stink, that draft, their first 3 picks could have been Haskins, Sweat, McLaurin.
Jeez, I didn't know McLaurin was a 3rd-round pick.
Yep. So,
jeez,
there's that. So, Washington, top pass defense in the league, actually number 2. So here's the thing, right? What does Tampa really try to do? I understand they've had some success with Fournette and Jones, but they want to pass the ball, and they have a lot of weapons. And I think Mike Evans being questionable, hopefully he's out for our sake, and then if they win, he could play in the second round. Cool. But Tampa, number 1 rush defense in the league, number 1. So Washington has not proven to pass the ball very effectively. Alex Smith is 4-1 though this year when starting. So he's obviously got the respect. I think they need to run the ball more because that always opens up the passing. But to go off what you said, quick passes, right? Those are usually slants, flats, bubbles, stick routes, get the ball off quick on fades. But any of that short stuff, there are some long and tall dudes. And I guarantee you they've practiced all week getting their hands
putting your hands up. Yeah.
Because, now, here's the thing. They could be going outside passes on those quick passes. Understandable.
You
right?
bull rush and then you put your arms up. That's what they're going to be
Any
doing.
of those quick, and it'd be different if they had a lot of shorter, strong guys like Aaron Donald, but they got a lot of tall bodies on there. And then when your backup lineman, D lineman is Ryan Kerrigan, perennial Pro Bowler, that's a pretty good thing. Now, here's the thing. Can they ride out? Can they give Brady some hectic things? And can their offense be productive? I think they said Heineke's going to get some reps this week. I don't see where he does, to be honest with you. But I do like this, and I don't know if they'll do it. Logan Thomas on some red zone stuff at quarterbacks. And doesn't agree. Red zone. It could be first down. Give him a first down. If anybody has free time this week, go look at his college highlights. Man.
We can throw the ball.
He has a ball that jumps out of his arm. I've spent the week just looking, and I'm not saying if they're relying on him to throw passes.
No, but mix it up though.
But the Buccaneers are smart enough to know, well, we kind of got to respect them here, right? And I think that opens up for 2 or 3 times in the game they could get a big run or play from him in the backfield. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I am going to take Washington. I saw the stat. Tom Brady 1-3 this year in night games. You know, hopefully.
Oh, stop! It's the playoffs.
Halftime.
It's the playoffs. He's different.
And I'm going to ride out because I remember how bad he looked last year against the Tennessee Titans. And I know the Titans in Washington are different, but he had some ugly picks in that game. It was a night game, so he's really 1-4 in his last 5 night games. Give me Washington because COVID year, weird stuff's happening all the time. This would be a great way to the worst division in football to then 7-9 get a playoff win. It only makes sense for this NFL season. Give me Washington.
That's a homer take.
Next up, Ravens at the Titans. Brandon, who you got?
We all watched that Ravens-Titans game last year. By the way, great game. I expect the Ravens to come out, and I expect them to win this game. And I really think it won't be close. And that's crazy because I like the Titans. I am the biggest Derrick Henry guy, 2,000 yards rushing. How do you not support that guy? Great guy off the field, too. I just, I want to root for the Titans. I do. But, dude, the Ravens are clicking. I mean, they were in for 400 yards last week. The Titans, I watched that game versus the Texans last week. Their defense is abysmal. I don't see them stopping the Ravens offense at all, and that's why I have the Ravens to win.
All right. Well, the Titans have allowed 111 third down conversions. 111. They're over 50% for allowing that. Guess whose offense, like you just said, is clicking? J.K. all day. J.K. Dobbins has been a game changer for the Ravens.
Well, Lamar, too.
Well, obviously, I was getting to that there. Brown has been very effective for Lamar as well. Now, here's the thing. He is trying to stay in the pocket. But you know what's also been great for him? And I think I mentioned this last week. When all those guys are developing their routes downfield and nothing's open, that is a lot less defenders around Lamar Jackson who can outrun everybody. He has something to prove this game. It is said he cannot win in the playoffs. He is a pride guy. Hey, you know whose birthday is today? Lamar Jackson. He's 24. I don't care what he's done in the playoffs before this. He's 24 years old. Come on. He is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. I am taking the Ravens. Watch out. People don't want to play the Ravens this playoff. Give me the Ravens. Give me Harbaugh, the only Harbaugh I like.
Right yeah, me too. How does that make us feel? We're older than Lamar? Are you kidding me?
I was looking up Andrew Wiggins today. 25. I feel like he's been in the league for years. He's our age.
He's been in the league 7 years this year.
Deshaun Watson's a week younger than me. I just saw that today too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's crazy to think that our graduating class, like Okafor, Jahlil Okafor was and who else? D'Angelo Russell.
We've already seen their NBA careers come and go, Okafor.
D'Angelo Russell, I feel like he's been in the league 7 years. I think it's 6 years. I think this is the 6th year he's been in the NBA, but it's like, oh my God, what the heck? It's insane.
Bears at the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have the Saints winning this game.
Crazy. That line.
The Bears are limping into the playoffs. I watched a little bit of that game versus the Packers, but they're fool's gold. Their offense was fool's gold. I really think the Saints, who have a good defense, I mean, you have Cam Jordan and you have that guy, what is it, Hendrickson or something like that. He had like 12 and a half sacks. He was like third in sacks this year. They have pass rushers. They have a really good rush defense. They have Marshawn Lattimore and Janoris Jenkins as their cornerbacks. I really don't see – I mean, I like Montgomery. I do. I like Cole Kmet. I like Mooney. I don't like Trubisky, and I don't like the play calling. And guess what? Quarterback and play calling determines games. I have the Saints. I think Kamara has a big day because he's super talented. I mean, you can't stop him. I think Michael Thomas comes back, and I think he actually has a good game too. So, yeah, I'm going Saints.
All right. I think that is a big line. Always in the NFL, when you see that big line, it's like never works out like that, right? Even though obviously it does sometimes. The Bears, all right, last 4 games. Let's see. 4 games, they are 3-1. But they beat the Texans. They beat the Vikings. They beat the Jaguars. And then they played a good team, the Packers, and lost 35-16.
Yeah.
The Lions was also their loss previous to that, 34-30. So I'm not riding the Bears. They played the right teams at the right time. Okay. Obviously, they played this year, correct? Let me check right here.
They played the NFC East this year, Nick.
So they went into overtime against the Saints earlier this year in November. Who cares?
Did they not play the NFC East?
Huh?
They played the Giants. I don't think they played the NFC East.
No, they didn't. They did play the Giants.
Because the NFC West and the AFC North is who the NFC East played. I correct myself. I was wrong. Sorry.
So, I'm going to ride the Saints out here. Now, here's the thing, right? The Saints have been upset in the first round before by a team in this division. But I just think the Saints, I think this is Breeze last year. So it's going to be win one for old captain there. Let's see what they can do. Who knows what they can do? Playoffs. I'm going to go Saints. All right,
Okay.
last one here. Probably the game that's up in the air most.
Well, no, that Colts Bills game is going to be closer than you think.
Well, I'm saying here the Browns at the Steelers. Who you got, Brandon?
Yeah, I have the Steelers. I don't trust the Browns. I mean, here's a fun stat for you. I couldn't believe my eyes. The Browns won 11 games this year, right?
Yep.
Guess what they're 11-5. Guess what their point differential was?
What?
-3. They gave up more points than they scored. They won. How is this? They won 11 games and were outscored on the season.
They've had some.
They were 11-5 and outscored on this season. Yeah. What? You played the NFC East. What? How? How in the world is that possible? It blows my mind. I don't like Baker Mayfield. I don't like him. I don't think he's good. The Steelers have a good defense. I mean, TJ Watt led the league in sacks. He had 15.5. He had 14.5 last year. In fact, TJ Watt in his 3 years, I think, 4 years. 3 or 4 years. I think it's 3.
He had 15 sacks this year.
3 years. He's been in the league 3 years. He has 50 sacks, something like that. So what's 15.5, 14.5? That would make it.
This man.
Yes, I lied. He's 4 years in the league. He has 50 sacks in 4 years in the league. I'm pretty sure.
All right,
that's impressive.
Yeah.
Steelers. I had the Steelers winning. I don't like the Browns. Basically, that's why I'm picking this because I'm not confident in the Steelers either. I think if they got sorry Zach, but I think you're gonna lose some money right here. I really believe if the Steelers played any other team, they'd probably lose in the AFC. If they got the Ravens or Titans, they'd lose. And if they got the Colts or Bills, they'd lose. But they got the one team that they can beat.
All right. Well, I had this nice long paper saying why the Cleveland Browns can be victorious. And then COVID hit. All right. So this is the worst for the Browns, right? It's like we made it. Boom. It's going to be victorious forever. And I do think they still play because Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry are all playing. But I just feel like there's so much going on with the Browns right now with all the COVID cases. Our starting safety just tested positive today. NFL's talked about if there's another positive test, they might consider doing something with this game. Well, that other positive test came about 4 to 5 hours ago. I want to say nothing's happened. So that makes me believe the game will still be played. Now, if the game was to be regular, both teams are full strength, I would take the Browns here. But that is not the case. When you don't have a coach, you don't have starting players, all of this, it's just a lot that happens. Steelers are going to have their guys. They have their veteran coach, quarterback, players. I'm going to say the Steelers win. I think a close one, but in any other circumstances, I am taking the Browns. But with all the COVID stuff, I think it's hard to pick the Browns here. I'm going Steelers.
I agree.
All right. Well, that is it for the games played this week. Brandon,
college.
Who is your Super Bowl champ?
My Super Bowl champ, and I've been saying this all year, I will not bet. I don't care how they look down the stretch. I will not bet against the Kansas City Chiefs. I know, look, it's almost impossible to be a repeat champ in the NFL because the NFL, there's more parity than any other sports league that we know. That's a given fact. I mean, teams can go 4-12 one year and be 12-4 the next year, have basically the same roster. A lot, because here's the thing with the NFL. You have 11 guys offense, 11 guys defense. You have special teams and everything else. You have a lot of different guys playing. You don't have guys who are dominating like basketball. You have 5 guys playing, and you might have 8 guys who are in your rotation. So if you have elite guys, look at the Lakers, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, you can win. But the NFL is totally different. I know I'm going against my point, but it's hard to win back-to-back years. But guess what? Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce are still here, and they're in their prime. Travis Kelce, second in the league in receiving. He had, 1,450 receiving yards. Didn't even play week 16. Tyreek Hill, second in the league in touchdowns. And he had, 1,300, 1,400 yards? Pat Mahomes didn't play the last game, would have led the league in passing yards this year. And he didn't even have his best year. He had a few stinker games where he barely threw for 200 yards. Versus the Bills in that rain game, he barely threw the ball. Guess what? They need to run the ball, or they need to throw the ball. They can win other ways. I don't think the Chiefs lose. I think the Bills are a good team. I just don't see the Chiefs losing.
All right, so he's got the Kansas City Chiefs. I am going to take the second favorite. I am going to take the Green Bay Packers.
And that's who I think the Super Bowl will be.
And I say this actually because I think the Chiefs trip up before the Super Bowl. I do. And I don't know to who. I just feel like that's how they've played the second half of the season. Am I wrong? They've
won. They went 14-2 and 14-1 with their starters in.
But I mean, I'll even pull it up here. But like, they didn't play great football. If they're playing great football at the end and playing these close games, it'd be different, right? But let's look at it here. They lost to the Chargers, obviously had backups in.
I don't count that.
They played the Falcons 17.
Your boy missed Younghoe Koo missed it.
They played the Saints close, playoff team. They played the Dolphins close, not playoff team. They played the Broncos close, not playoff team. They played the Buccaneers close. They played the Raiders close, not playoff team. They played the Panthers close, not playoff team. They crushed the Jets. They crushed the Broncos. They did beat the Bills pretty handily, but then it was Raiders win. Then it was a low-scoring game against the Patriots. Ravens won in overtime over the Chargers, and they played the Texans semi-close. So, again, it's not like they've been dominant.
Do you want me – because I pay attention.
My turn to talk.
I'm Stephen A. Smith. I talk over you.
Go ahead. So, listen. I think the Bills could be that team they slip up against. And I only say this, and yes, that's a popular pick, right? The Bills. But how right does it feel that the Bills will get lucky enough to have this great year, barely can have any fans in the stadium.
I know.
Celebrate it. They go to the Super Bowl. They got the quarterback, and they lose in the Super Bowl. Only seems Bills right. And here's the thing. I listened to a Kuhn interview, John Kuhn, old fullback there, for the Packers. And he does a bunch of stuff for the Packers, like talk shows and all this stuff. And he said when they won the Super Bowl, there was no doubt in his mind they were winning the Super Bowl. 2011, he thought there was no team he was worried about. He said every other year he's been a player or just an analyst, whatever. He's been worried about a team. He said, I have that same feeling I had back in 2010 where there's just no team. And I agree with him. The NFC – that's how I feel. I understand. Didn't the Buccaneers beat them earlier this year? Like, I understand that, but their defense is playing better. Darnell Savage, shout out, 302 there. And then you have Aaron Rodgers. And this is
Devontae Adams.
You have Devontae Adams. You do have a running back there.
Aaron Jones.
All these guys are pairing up. I think this is the perfect year for the Packers to take advantage of that. They have a coach, young coach, back-to-back 13-3 seasons. I think the Green Bay Packers get in because the Chiefs slip up somewhere. And that's why I think the Packers win, because the Chiefs slip up somewhere. And the Packers do have a good team. I don't think anybody in the NFC is worth it. Get to the Super Bowl. As you know, anything can happen.
Oh, well, the playoffs are a crapshoot. Look at the Ravens last year. They dominated. The Ravens were the number one seed. They lost to the Titans. Here's the thing. I do think the Packers win the NFC. Now, the Chiefs, I want to explain. Now, I do watch a lot of Chiefs football because my dynasty fantasy team, I have Patrick Mahomes, I have Tyreek Hill, I have Travis Kelce, and I have Harrison Butker. So I watch the Chiefs a lot. I will say the Chiefs, the scores are closer because Andy Reid has this thing where he'll just not be aggressive. So they'll go up, they'll score, and then all of a sudden you'll have a lull for an entire quarter. Now, Mahomes, I'm serious. He'll have 200-yard quarters. He'll have 150-yard quarters, and then he'll throw for like 32 yards the next quarter. So, yeah, he'll finish the half with like 250 yards. But you'll see it's like they turn it on for short periods of time, and Andy Reid gets conservative.
Yeah.
They don't have a run game really, so they'll kind of just like go through the motions, dump down. They won't get aggressive.
The middle of the field running back. He's not a red zone running back.
And he's also injured.
But Le'Veon, too. Here's the thing. Can Eric Bieniemy, I wonder if he was just trying out things. I know that's crazy to say.
It could be.
Was he trying out things? But in certain games, I'm going to tell you this, Brandon. If you're my franchise quarterback, arguably the best quarterback in the league, I understand Aaron Rodgers probably won an MVP this year, but let's be honest. Aaron Rodgers is a certain age. At the age and the skill, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, most valuable player in the league, let's be honest, to his team.
He is.
Why am I letting him run routes as a receiver?
On 4th down and 2.
Trick play.
4th and 2.
Listen, if he gets hurt playing quarterback, that's football. Don't do that stupid stuff there. And again, is he being too cute or is he just trying things out? Who knows? Maybe he has some mastermind plan and he destroys everybody and they're back to back. We'll see. I'm taking Green Bay. All right. On to the college football playoffs. Brandon, who is your national champion?
You don't want to hear it? Alabama.
Brandon, what was your record last week on picks?
God, I picked Alabama and I picked Clemson. I did pick Clemson because I think I did think Clemson was going to win the national championship, and I would go on the record saying I was wrong. I did not expect Ohio State to play that well. Hats off. See, that's the thing with me. I can admit when I was wrong. I can't believe Ohio State played that well, and I can't believe Will Venable's defense played that poorly. They acted like this guy is a genius. He's a douche, and they stunk. And sorry, my language, but I don't like Will Venables. Alabama, dude, wide receiver won the Heisman. Here's a question my dad brought out to me yesterday. Does Devontae Smith win the Heisman if Jalen Waddle didn't get injured? Because I sure as hell don't think he would.
I don't know, man. Listen. Here's the thing too. It's not like he's a one-hit wonder guy.
Oh, he's not. He's been doing it for 3 years.
Balling. And I like it. I like it. It's always a quarterback, right? Always a quarterback. Mac Jones looks a lot better because of Smith. A lot better.
He does.
If Lawrence doesn't get hurt, maybe he wins it. You know.
He got second. I can't believe Trevor Lawrence got second.
Won the fan vote. Not that means a thing. But again, because again, Mac has so many weapons. Listen, Brandon, you could throw for at least 100 yards in Alabama's offense. I mean, you got that many weapons. Gosh, you could just throw a screen to somebody and they're taking it to the crib, you know?
Exactly.
So again, it's one of those things where like, we'll see what Mac does next year in the NFL because a lot of people said with Joe Burrow, Allaire, Justin Jefferson, Chase, all those guys. And look, he balled out. So we'll have to see. So you're saying Bama, though?
Yeah, I just, man, their offense is just – now, I said the same thing about Clemson, but I think Alabama's – when you have 3 guys in the top 5 of the Heisman, obviously this is a special team. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if Ohio State won. That's how well they really changed my opinion of the team. When I saw them play versus Clemson, when I saw that Ohio State versus Indiana game, that Ohio State versus Northwestern game, I'm like, these guys don't even deserve to be in. Well, they shut me up.
Yeah, and Northwestern actually played really well. In the whole game. Indiana, thanks for messing up my parlay.
Well, Indiana's quarterback did
and
tear his ACL.
Honestly, if he doesn't get hurt, he's probably a top 10 quarterback in college football.
Yeah, I mean that's also. Can we? Quick side note. How about De'Aaron King tearing his ACL? He'll play for what? I swear, This is his 7th year. I think he's our age. I really think he graduated high school in 2014, if I'm not mistaken.
Look it up.
He's still in college. Imagine us being still in college.
He still has another year left. He said,
That's what I mean.
He said the day before he was like, I'm coming back. And then he tears the ACL.
Oh, you're 25. Give it up.
They say that he should be back for the start of the season.
I seriously, is he 25 years old?
Look it up. Look it up on your phone.
I don't know how old he is.
And while Brandon's looking that up, I will tell you why Ohio State will be national champions. Last time Ohio State was in the college football playoffs and won the national championship, guess who they beat? They beat Alabama. Now, they beat Alabama in the first round. Now, listen. It's kind of similar track, just reversed. And listen how I say this. So who was the coveted quarterback, Heisman Trophy winner? Oh, he's the best player ever for Oregon, Brandon. Who was that player? Do you know who they beat?
Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota. Well, similar to Trevor Lawrence there, right? The college football quarterback god. He's going to do amazing things in the NFL.
They're different.
Guess what? Ohio State got it done. And now we're playing another Alabama team, a one-year starting quarterback Alabama team. Guess what? Alabama had the same thing when Ohio State beat them the last time in the playoff. Now, Nick Saban's daughter wants to talk stuff about COVID and Justin Fields, and I love the man Cardell Jones tweeted.
Cardell.
Do you want to lose to another backup quarterback? I love that he said that. Love it. Guess what you can do on Alabama, Brandon? We said it last week. Notre Dame showed it. They just got outscored and could not convert. You can
Ian Book's the problem. Don't get me started.
Run on Alabama. Guess what Ohio State's been doing very well? Trey Sermon has been
Master Teague hasn't even played.
Master Teague will be back. So listen, of course, Sermon's the guy. You got to feed him.
Oh, without a doubt.
He was in a lot of situations. He got a lot of wear and tear. If there's certain situations, maybe non-run situations, maybe it's a first down situation, Master T can go in and give him a blow. Now he's fresher for the fourth quarter because I don't think it's a blowout. Don't think it's a blowout like that Clemson game really was, where now Master T can be taking those carries too at the end, right? Well, here's the thing. Now, Sermon is fresher for that fourth quarter when they will need him. How healthy will Justin Fields be? Got to rely on that run. We'll see. We know he can pass it. One of his big things is he can run. I think that is a non-factor, and I think that does hurt Ohio State. Ohio State obviously has to be able to stop the run and pass. I'm more worried about them on the pass. I think they can stop the run. The D-line has been playing well enough. So I'm going to go Ohio State. And if you want to listen to another beautiful speech by me, make sure you tune in to episode 7 of Recliner Sports Talk. So
Gotcha.
Brandon got Alabama, Kansas City. I got Green Bay and Ohio State. Completely different. That's what you want, folks. That's what you want.
Just before we go, King, I want you to guess when he was born.
1996.
Not 97, August. But he will be 24 next season. When will you ever see a college quarterback who is 24 years old? Guess who's 24? Lamar Jackson just turned 24.
Brandon Weeden.
Huh?
Weeden.
Oh, Brandon Weeden? But did he – here's the thing. Did he – I was about to say, when do you see a guy who played right out of high school and still play at 24 years old?
He has those the transfer and redshirt years there. So I don't know if he got injured before or whatever, but it has to be something, right? So, all right. Well, that is it for our pick show. We went longer than I think we both thought. We got some in-depth stuff. We want to talk playoffs. Hey, for all you that are going to use our advice for your bets, you're welcome. We should make a cash app so you guys can give us some money.
I was about to say, Venmo me your winnings because Buffalo.
Besides Washington, I think we had all the same picks.
Yeah. Buffalo is not covering, though.
All right. And Washington is. All right, that is it for us. I'm Nick.
I'm Brandon.
Tune in to episode 7 if you want to see that speech. See y'all.